Generally in American history, when we intervene in another country, whether true or not, we come up with a high-minded pretense. Liberating a people, spreading democracy, introducing baseball to the Japanese. They complained at first, but it was totally worth it. On what moral foundation will this conflict be framed?
We're going to have presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil. We're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be.
Seems a little on the nose. Oil, precious commodity, certainly, but not the reason a country formed 250 years ago on the ideas of liberty and self-determination would go into a country and snatch a man at night. There must be a slightly more noble pretense.
We're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground.
We need total access. We need access to the oil.
Sir, again, I see where we're going here. Do you mind just reframing that? I'm not quite clear on the high-minded principle behind this.
In other words, we'll be selling oil.
Is this your first war? I mean, what the f***? All right, let's table this for now. Senator Lindsey Graham, you're an old hand at warmongering. You've done this a bunch. You're on the plane. Can you help this dude out with the casus belli and keep Trump from bringing it back to oil?
There are going to be Americans alive today because he shut down a narco-terrorist state called Venezuela. This is a good thing, not a bad thing.
And the oil companies are going to go in and rebuild their system.
God damn it! What? We can't even be conspiracy theorists now. I think they did it for the oil. Yeah, no, I did it for the oil. Is there any other reason? Can you give us anything? There's a lot of issues, human rights violations, political prisoners down in Venezuela. We could certainly free them and improve the lives of dissidents.
Are you going to demand that Delcy Rodriguez let opposition figures return or free any political prisoners?
We haven't gotten to that yet. Right now, what we want to do is fix up the oil, fix up the country.
Yes, we'll get the people out of jail, but first we have to liberate the oil from its ground prison. That oil's been locked up for millions of years, yearning to burn free. Obviously, I'm being cynical. It's not purely for oil. Even Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick on the plane could tell you that on his way out of the bathroom.
You have steel, you have minerals, right? All the critical minerals. They have a great mining history that's gone rusty. So steel, aluminum, minerals.
These motherfuckers are going full conquistador in front of our eyes. I mean, they got oil, steel, minerals. Oh, and don't forget about the spices. Spices. We'll load our ships with cinnamon and cardamom and oil and everything bagels. You'll see. And they might have gotten away with it too. But our country is a democracy. So bad news, Don Rowe. Your little oil heist is going to have to get past the Democrats and Inspector Schumer.
So I've been talking to so many members of my caucus today. Everybody is very, very just totally troubled, worried.
History has its eyes on. Well, if it were two totallys and one very, I'd say Trump is getting off scot-free. But three totallys and two veries? And trouble worried? I don't want to say the president doesn't respect the Democrats. But he did not brief them before or after this attack. Now, you could say that was in the interest of national security and operational confidentiality. If not for this one group he did speak to.
Spoken with the oil companies about going into Venezuela.
I have.
Speak with them before the operation took place.
Yes.
Did you maybe tip them off? No.
Before and after.
Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, President Trump and an elite team of Delta Force special operators removed a dangerous foreign dictator from power. Not that one. They're actually friends. And quite frankly, I think business partners. No, not that. They're also quite close. That's not okay. I believe these two have more of a heated rivalry vibe. If you know what I mean, so it's not that one. No, that one. No, that wasn't us. No, I'm talking about the now former president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, who was reverse iced and imported. He was actually imported to a jail in Brooklyn. But don't feel bad for him. He was a feared and cruel dictator.
Don't worry, be happy. La 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 la.
Bobby McFerrin karaoke? You monster. Look, I know that clip makes him seem benign, almost kind of comical. But the truth is, Maduro oversaw a repressive regime that impoverished his nation, silenced dissent, and killed thousands. La, 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 la. But his iron rule and a cappella terror came to an end on Friday night when U.S. Special Forces raided Caracas, Venezuela's only city, as far as we know, and snatched Nicolas Maduro out of his bedroom, apparently before he could even take off his sleep mask. His aura ring must have been like, you had a bad night. You did not get good, deep sleep. And as it unfolded, Donald Trump was overseeing it all from a secure location, the Situation tent at Mar-a-Lago. I don't want to be a dick or a nitpicker, but is this the most secure location? In Mar-a-Lago, behind the curtain you throw up in front of the catering kitchen? This is a matter of utmost national security. Dessert's gonna have to come out through the surface entrance. I was never here. That was me, acting as though I was coming out of it. But obviously, despite the makeshift command center, this was a highly technical and complex operation that required months of training and preparation.
After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets.
Well, that does explain this photo from the raid. I hope you like eating kibble and gitmo. Daphne. We debated before the show. Is it mildly racist that we gave him a chihuahua? Is that? Because basically we were saying, like, is that because the chihuahua's from Mexico, this is Venezuela, and I thought, well, so there is some nuance to it. But still, mildly racist. You're welcome.
The world is still in shock over Donald Trump's surprise door dashing of Nicolas Maduro to Brooklyn. And he didn't even tip. And I have to say, I did not see this Venezuela thing coming. And I read the news every day. So a lesson here is reading is pointless. But now, Maduro will face justice in the best legal system in the world that we illegally kidnapped him to. And it all began yesterday morning when he showed up to court. And if this isn't Iraq all over again, why are they reusing Saddam Hussein's courtroom sketch? Let's see how his first day went.
Maduro greeted spectators in the courtroom saying, "Buenos dias."
Buenos dias. Smart legal strategy by Maduro. If he speaks Spanish, ICE might bust in and deport him back to Venezuela just out of habit. I'm starting to think this guy might beat the rap.
As the judge asked, "Are you Nicolas Maduro?" "I am the president of the Republic of Venezuela," a defiant Maduro responded.
Ah, you blew it. You should have just said no. The judge will be like, "You heard the man, case dismissed." But there is some good news for Maduro. He's not alone.
This morning, Nicolas Maduro and wife Celia Flores are waking up in jail, returned after a day in court where they both pleaded not guilty to charges they worked together to traffic cocaine.
God damn, his wife was trafficking cocaine with him? I guess in other countries, first ladies have actual responsibilities. Hey, I mean, I bet Trump is jealous of their relationship. I mean, he must be like, "Melania, why can't we ever do couple stuff like the Maduros?" Now, they might spend the rest of their lives together in prison, but to be fair, aren't all marriages kind of a prison? It's okay, I can make that joke. My wife only watches on Mondays. But look, okay, this is a tough one for MAGA because Trump's whole thing was not getting into foreign wars. So they must be giving a lot of serious consideration into all of the geopolitical implications of this new doctrine.
I've seen a lot of stuff, but this Venezuela thing, that was awesome. Oh, man.
This is like watching a 12-year-old do a news report about the first time he saw boobs. The rumors are true, people. Those are awesome. Who is this show for, anyway? Like, how dumb is his audience that they're like, "Hey, let's see what Greg thinks of this." Oh, yeah, hey, honey, Greg thinks it's awesome. I'm totally satisfied on an intellectual level now. But it turns out not everyone thinks forcing a regime change in another country is a good idea. And for those people, Mike Johnson is here to ease your mind.
I want to say that the way that this is being described, I think, is accurate. This is not a regime change. This is a demand for change of behavior by a regime.
It's not a regime change. It's a changed regime. Thank you, stupid Yoda. It's like... Why is Mike Johnson downplaying this? I mean, the U.S. overthrew a government at gunpoint with no plan. Doesn't this bother anyone?
Hey, look, I'm appreciative of what the president has done with this. And I know there's going to be those out there that are going to be the critics. But, you know, sometimes when you break a few eggs, we got to learn how to make some omelets with it. And this is exactly what we're going to do.
We break a few eggs, then learn how to make an omelet? I mean, this guy f***ed up the metaphor so badly that he accidentally got it right. Because that's not how you make an omelet, but that's exactly what we did in Venezuela. We just went in and broke everything, and now we're like, hey, who has a recipe for omelets? We have a lot of oil. I know we can use that. But look, I get what's happening here, okay? No one in MAGA expected this to happen. So they're all scrambling to find an answer that makes sense to them. Even MAGA mega church pastors are flipping through the Bible like, hey, there's got to be something in here.
They say you have seized Venezuela for the oil. Yes, this is true. But the spiritual oil and the natural oil does not belong to the forces of darkness. And the oil of the natural and the oil of the spirit is mine, says the Lord.
No, I get it, okay? The oil is a metaphor for oil. I mean, is that what the Holy Trinity is? Regular, unleaded, and diesel. I know. Look, I know Christianity is weird, but this doesn't sound like something God would say. Like, don't kill, don't steal, but feel free to go absolutely ape shit on oil. This is also why Buddha is the best, because you never see a MAGA monk going, let go of all your attachments, except to Greenland, which is ours. But maybe we don't need religion or f***ed up breakfast metaphors to explain why Trump kidnapped Maduro. Because last night, we heard from Stephen Miller, Trump's deputy secretary and guy who didn't go bald, it just never came in the first place. And he gave a very clear answer about why we did this. Because we can.
We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. You can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else, but we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power.
No, shut up. You heard this dweeb, okay? This is what a superpower looks like now. A guy whose head looks like a up circumcision. Okay? And with them in charge, America can stop pretending to be the nice guy. And nobody's more excited to be the bully for a change than Stephen Miller.
This neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away. To create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. We went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Damn straight we did.
Damn straight we did. I can swear whenever I want. I don't give a dick shit what my parents say, bitch. Listening to this guy talk is like if Nazis took helium instead of meth. But still, this is a big change for Americans. They're now being told that their view of themselves as a benevolent force for good is gone, and they are now the evil empire. And as we look at this photo of a foreign leader in our custody, every American has to decide how to respond in this moment.
And this photo seen around the world of Maduro blindfolded wearing a tracksuit, sparking a surprising response.
It's a Nike Tech fleece jacket and jogging pants. Now there's a run on the $140 outfit. Guys have started posting images of themselves wearing it. Here at the Nike store in Midtown Manhattan, the so-called Maduro tracksuits are flying off the shelves.
Wow, you can really go shopping fast when you don't have a life. What's wrong with you people? Okay, not everything has to be content. Can't this just be a bloody coup without clout chasing? I wish the like and subscribe button was your face so I could smash it over and over again. But I guess this is how we live now. Every step towards imperialism is going to be a new fashion trend. And there's one store that's getting in on the ground floor.
Were you too late to get Nicolas Maduro's post-arrest tracksuit? Then get ahead of the next foreign abduction at Strong Men's Warehouse. We've got all the clothing worn by leaders America might one day frog march out of their capital, like Kim Jong-un's Fat Guy Nehru jacket, Vladimir Putin's judo costume, and the Ayatollah's thong. He can enrich our uranium any day. We've got the looks from all the countries Donald Trump is threatening to invade, like sombreros from Mexico, ponchos from Colombia, and whatever they wear in Greenland. And if you're wondering, when will this madness end? Will Chuck Schumer be next? Yes, and you can buy his slippery glasses. Our prices are so low, they're practically war crimes. So come on down now to Strong Men's Warehouse. What are you waiting for? Congressional authorization? Pussy!
Lately, President Trump has been introducing a slew of new reporters to the White House press pool, including social media star and fellow forehead American, Benny Johnson. Lucky for us, he's not afraid to hold the powerful accountable and ask the tough questions.
Will the president consider giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Big Balls?
Ooh. That's a very important question. Be the first Medal of Freedom awarded to a human scrotum since Rush Limbaugh. Now, it is these kinds of bold and very wrinkly questions that Benny Johnson has been asking for years on his creatively titled programs like The Benny Show, The Benny Report, Benny Brews, and Benny on the Block. And of course, Breaking Benny, 2.5 Bennies, and The Kelly Clarkson Show featuring Benny Johnson. But before he was getting literally 1 billion views online, Benny worked at storied news outlets like Breitbart, The Blaze, and BuzzFeed, where he honed a unique perspective that was definitely authentic and original.
BuzzFeed announced it was firing its viral politics editor, Benny Johnson, for plagiarism.
Johnson wholesale copied words and entire phrases from The Guardian, U.S. News and World Report, and even Yahoo Answers.
Wow! How bad of a writer do you have to be to cheat on a BuzzFeed article with Yahoo Answers? Yahoo Answers, the website that bravely asks, what if Wikipedia was written by guys who scrawl graffiti in public toilets? But now that he's no longer at BuzzFeed, he's not forced to write drivel like, which Harry Potter house matches your Disney princess style? I'm a Hufflepuff Moana, but that's beside the point. Benny's now free to talk politics. Give us a taste.
Every single thing you hate about your life right now, or American culture, is caused by mass immigration.
American cities are treasures, and we should not sacrifice them to the mongoloid horde.
White rage is how you win a war.
Leftists are a death cult. Save this country from literal demons, from Satanists and from scum.
You Slytherin Elsa bitch. Wow. Maybe we were too hard on plagiarism, you know? Regardless, Benny's constant stream of vitriol and cruelty has reaped him billions of views. And frankly, it blows my mind that someone this unoriginal and derivative can garner such online attention and the ear of the president. I mean, what am I missing?
Some of the most famous, most viewed right-wing online influencers were being paid by Russia.
Part of a Kremlin-backed campaign to fuel Russian narratives. Among those stars, Benny Johnson.
Oh! He's just being paid by foreign forces to destroy America from within. Phew! I thought my neighbors actually liked the guy. You know, and his popularity can't just all be Russia putting their finger on the scale. Perhaps there's a star quality there. Just show me the undeniable charisma, Benny. Whoa! Benny, that's the first good question I've heard you ask. What is going on? He dances like a Jabberwocky with polio. Now, I know J.D. Vance said we don't have to apologize for being white anymore, but on behalf of the whites, I'm sorry you all had to see that. But you know what? Hey, you know what? You don't have to have coordinated limbs or a toddler's sense of rhythm to be compelling. Hit us with your classic Benny Johnson charm and humor.
Welcome to the Benny Report. I'm Batman. Actually, I'm Benny Johnson.
Okay. For a second, I thought he was Batman. You got me, Benny. And I'll tell you what, if you like that Batman reference, don't worry. There's plenty more.
Have you ever watched The Dark Knight? Arguably the greatest superhero film of all time.
The scene when Batman comes up through the floor and there's 7 bad guys. And they're like, who is it? And Batman just takes them all out.
I want Batman to stay Batman, not turn into Antifa Man.
So, I'm a big Batman fan. We're going to begin by saying, Batman for your boy.
No, we are not. We are adults and we do adult things. It's been 5 days since America invaded Venezuela, arrested its president, and seized control of the country. And now the real work begins. Nation building.
I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I meant narrative building.
The bottom line is we now have freedom in Venezuela.
I have so many Venezuelan friends. They are crying tears of joy.
This is their first real opportunity to experience democracy and freedom.
Listen, people smell freedom in the air, and they can thank Donald J. Trump.
That's right, Trump is stinking up the joint with freedom. Can you smell it? It's just crop dusting our hemisphere of democracy. Breathe it in, people. Finally, the Venezuelan people are in charge of their own destiny. Let's see exactly what kind of freedom they have won.
President Donald Trump announced that Venezuela will be giving the U.S. 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to be sold.
This oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America.
Okay, look. Say what you want about his corruption. At least Trump is hands-on with it, okay? Dick Cheney had to funnel it through Halliburton or whatever. But Donald Trump is like, yo, just give me the oil. I'll open a gas pump outside the Oval Office. Okay? Just come drive right up, but no Amex. So yes, Venezuela has agreed to hand over approximately $2 billion worth of oil to the United States out of the goodness of their hearts and because we are mugging them. Which seems harsh, but you know what? A little bit of oil money for President Trump is a small price to pay for illegally kidnapping the president. And now that this payoff is taken care of, America will get out of your hair. Goodbye forever, Venezuela. You're finally free.
The U.S. now imposing a military blockade on its oil exports, using it as leverage to get Venezuela to give in to the Trump administration's demands. The U.S. has conveyed to the interim leader of Venezuela that she must agree to partner exclusively with the U.S. on oil production and kick out officials from China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba, severing all economic ties with those countries.
I think we all know what's going on here. Ladies, when your new boyfriend forces you to cut ties with all of your friends, he's a keeper. Sorry, it kind of feels like Trump wants to be the new dictator of Venezuela, but that can't be right, right?
We obviously have maximum leverage over the interim authorities. Their decisions are going to continue to be dictated by the United States of America.
Okay, look, I know how that sounds, but just because you dictate doesn't make you a dictator, okay? Because, no, it doesn't. Because dictators, they live in like a gold palace or something. And to any Venezuelans looking for advice on how to get rid of Donald Trump, we have no idea. But I can tell you one thing that doesn't work: satire. Doesn't do shit. But if you're in a country in the area and this sounds like a good deal, well, good news. You're next.
This is the start of changing Venezuela. Then we're going to fix Cuba. Nicaragua will get fixed. Next year, we'll get a new president in Colombia. Democracy is coming back to this hemisphere.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to this guy on surviving the Ark of the Covenant.